everybody. Welcome. It's that time again. It's Wednesday night at 9 p.m., a little bit after 9, a little technical difficulties. But welcome to the mayor of rock and roll and friends. And I give you the mayor himself, Sal Serchia, and our guest. Who is it, Sal?
Yeah, baby. Tonight we have a special guest. Look at that big smile on her face. She's extremely adorable. Look at her. Karen Goeller, right? I said the last name right. Karen.
You did.
Goeller. Yeah, that's a name that's I end up saying either Goeller or Goeller, but I got it right. Karen Goeller. Karen Goeller has been around for like so long, doing so many amazing things. She's an actress, right? She's an actress. She's written like 20 books. Author of Sports Performance Coach, all like performance coach books and things like that. Working on a film called Missy's Voice, all about bullying. So let's have a big hand for the wonderful Karen Goeller. Yeah, baby.
Welcome, Karen.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. What do you got, Dave? What do we got on the big screen there? Oh, all your books. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
I didn't put that up there. I thought one of you guys did.
No, it's Gene.
I put it up from your Facebook.
Gene.
That's your Facebook page, right?
Yes, I think so. Yes, it is.
And they're all your books, all of them, or just some of them?
That's like half of them.
Yes. Right. She's got like 20.
I know.
Yeah,
yeah. 20 there. But
you've
some of them
over 20 books, Karen, or just 20?
I think 20.
Wow.
I haven't counted lately.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us, for the people who are watching, and there's probably a lot of people watching, but I've been promoting it like crazy. Let's start from the beginning. I mean, what got you into all the stuff that you do? What was your first passion, by the way? Books, music, acting? What is it?
Well, my very first passion when I was 7 was ballet. Then I went into gymnastics. And I went into gymnastics in 76 and I never left. Started coaching by the time I was 12 in 78. And when I was in an accident in 2000, I started writing because the YMCA asked me to train their coaches. So I actually had to put together a program of some sort, and they worked so well with it. I published it as my first gymnastics book. And then I just kept writing and kept consulting. And then eventually I was coaching teams again, and I do private training also. So yeah, I kind of never left the sport.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. And then you got into acting as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how I got into that, actually. I always wanted to try voiceover work. And in 2012, I got laid off from a pretty good coaching job. So I figured that was my time to try to get a voiceover job or get started in that industry. And I kept getting called for film jobs. And to this day, I never had a voiceover role. So it's a good thing I didn't hold out for that.
Wow. Yeah, voice. Yeah. Sometimes voice jobs are even harder to get than regular acting jobs, I think,
I think so, because I've been trying ever since. So.
Yeah, and I've never done that either. I'm an actor as well, like you, and I've tried to do some of that voiceover dubs, and I never got a voiceover gig. I guess, and I said to myself, I get regular acting jobs easier than I get that. You would figure that's behind the scenes; it would be easier, but I guess it's not. Now, your very first book, do you remember what inspired you to write? How you started writing your first? Because I would love to write a book. I don't even know how to get started, where to start. So maybe you could help me tonight by telling me how you started writing your first book.
Well, my very first book I wrote right before I went into law school in 98. And I was halfway through it, about 100 pages in. And I didn't know that I should be backing up files. And I had problems with the computer. I called AOL, I think it was AOL tech support or something. They had me delete like my whole computer. So I lost that book. I never went back to it, but it was called Your Perspective or Mine. And it was really about how people see things differently. But I never went back to that project. And then in 2000, when that Jim called me to do the consulting work, and I wrote that program. That was my first published book.
Wow. So do
Yeah.
you ever think of going back to that first book and read?
I thought about it, but it's just I'm so busy with other stuff, and it's just no, not right now. You know, losing 100 pages of a very first book you wrote is very annoying, and I forgot half of what I wrote, but I still remember the concept.
That's the same for like anything. I think that works the same for writing a script or for music or songs, because in my times I've written some great songs that, but when I started, I recorded the newest song, and some of the songs that I've written in New York, like you said, you lost it. I didn't lose them; they just happened to be on like a little cassette tape, and I don't bother with it. So it's kind of the same thing, really. Yeah. Now, now the movie. Let's talk about this movie. Let's get this movie happening. I want to have a tell us about the movie.
Well, I actually wrote it about 5 years ago. I wrote it as a short film. Let me back up even more. Somebody
Sure.
We're losing everybody here.
Film showed it to some producers, and they said, this is a really good story. You should make it a feature length. And then I said to myself, all right. And then I said, you know, I can publish a book much faster than I can produce a film. So I did that. I came up with my book, Missy's Voice, and then I continued to work on the feature, and now I am trying to produce the feature film. So we are moving along. We're not at the very beginning stages, but we're still looking for equity investors. So we're not actually rolling the cameras right now, but we are further along now than we were 6 months ago.
That's good. That's good.
So you're getting closer. Well, I mean, you know, sometimes that reminds me of like, you ever have people say, oh, this movie was 10 years in the making. You know, you hear about that. I'm talking about big Hollywood movies too. Like this was 10 years in the making. You always say something. What do you mean 10 years? It took 10 years to make this movie? That's what they're talking about. All the trying to get to that point is the money, the investors, the producers, getting it together. That's what takes so long. I mean, the movie could be done in 6 months, but it's the rest of the 9 years and 4 months is all the stuff getting to that, you know?
Exactly. I actually have the team. I have the production company. They're ready to roll. We just need a bit more money in that account before we roll the cameras.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about the movie. Maybe somebody might be listening and like what they're hearing and say, hey, I want to be a part of this. Let me invest $50,000 or whatever. You never know who's watching.
Okay. It's about a young singer who's bullied, and you see her bullied in like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, kind of middle school, grammar school. Then she graduates from that school, and she thinks the bullying is done. She goes to high school, and she's bullied by another set of bullies. But there is a scene in the movie where the bullying ends forever. She grows up to be a famous singer. The families are all tied together, and they don't find out about how they're tied together until they're adults. So that's pretty interesting. And there are actually a lot of life lessons in this film. Besides, you know, be kind. That's the obvious lesson in this film, or the obvious theme. Kids also learn to work hard, follow your passion, find time for a family. There are a lot of life lessons in this film besides just being kind. So anyone that was bullied, or the bully themselves, if they want to pay it forward, would probably be interested in this film. I did reach out to a lot of bullying organizations, a lot of parents of children who died by suicide. I've also reached out to a lot of sports organizations, and they all absolutely love this concept. They love this project, but none of them are in a position to be equity investors because they're all nonprofit organizations. So there is a lot of interest in this project. I just haven't met that one perfect person that says, let's do this tomorrow. Let's do this week. So
Or
That's
if you
all it
meet
takes.
somebody, they want to take over the project. That's
Well, no, I don't want anyone.
no, that's what I'm saying. They want to, and I understand that feeling. You froze,
I
Karen.
wanted to, I guess, but I'm not at that point because if you sell a film, you lose control of it. And then they can change the script, they can change the whole theme, they can change anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really end up making money and you don't really end up getting the credit you deserve. So I'm not at a point where I want to sell it or option it out. I'm trying to find that right investor who hates bullying and really wants to see this project.
Yeah, that's one thing about Karen. She stands her ground, and I love that about her.
Yeah, and that's good. You remind me of Stallone's story with Rocky. I mean, you got that story right now. You know, buy the script from him, and he wouldn't sell it, and he wanted to be in it, and the whole 9 yards. And look what happened. You know, 6 nominees later, Rocky. So
Yeah, I
it's
love
good
that
to
movie
stick to your
too,
guns.
all of them. But yeah, it is the same idea.
Yeah.
When you write a project, I've written other scripts and I've written, as you know, 20 books. But when you have a project that really means this much to you, you don't want to let it go. And you don't want it to be changed because then the message will be different. You know, the be kind message, all these life lessons, the way you picture the characters, all of that could totally change if somebody else takes over your story. So it's really important if you have a passion for the story or the characters, or if there's some sort of special connection, to try to really make it happen on your own rather than selling it and letting the whole thing be changed.
Yes. No, I agree 100%, you know, because like you said, they'll change it. It won't be like what you visualize it to be. You know, it's just not cool. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny, like because now you just mentioned now I wish I had the money. I'm like I got $2,000 in the bank. But if I had the money, this kind of thing I would love to get invest to get it out there. So because it's a good good thing, the bullying thing, and a lot of people may need to see this kind of thing. Now the only thing I could contribute to is, and maybe Gene might contribute to as well, is it's a movie about a musician, music. So you obviously
Yeah.
gonna have some music in it. So I've written over 100 songs, and Gene's written more than me. So if you need any songs from me, I will give you anything you want. You could use it for free. And I have
Thank you.
absolutely. That's the way I could contribute to it. You know, I would love
Yeah.
that. Are you kidding?
We just want
But I
listen.
have
We want
songs.
this project to be done and out there because it's such a good project. I mean, she knows how passionate I feel about the project because it
Yeah.
touches my heart deeply about the bullying I went through, and I can't imagine, this story, the way the story opens up and goes into a beautiful storyline. Watching it on, it's just going to make me freaking cry the whole
Yeah.
time.
There
It
is
really is dear to my heart.
in the library. I seen there's a DVD. It's the name of the movie is called Bully or something like that, and it's a yellow box. And many times I wanted to grab it. And I said, you know what? This is going to upset me if I watch it. It's going to bother me. So I never took the DVD and watched it because I always felt like it's going to upset me. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, I was never a bully, but this is the truth. When I was in school as a kid, any bully that approached me, I whacked him before he even opened his mouth. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm no tough guy. I'm not a troublemaker, but that bullying stuff, I can't deal with it. And I remember in school back in East New York and Brooklyn, growing up in the 60s, there was all kind of gang things and bullying and this and that. And I just didn't take nothing from nobody. My mom said, please, my mom begged, please, God, my next son, because my brother used to get bullied and picked up for 6 years. And my mom prayed, please, my next son, let him be an animal. Don't let him take nothing from nobody. And her prayer came true because, man, back in the old days, any bully that approached me got a nice beating all the time. And I'm not trying to be a tough guy, trying to be cool, but it's the truth. But I hate that bullying stuff. I remember in the school, you would see a bunch of guys picking on some little Italian kid or a little, anybody. It didn't have to be Italian. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They'd be smacking them and doing stupid stuff. And I would like, oh, yeah? come try that with me, baby. You know. But
Sal, you're the nicest guy on earth. I can't picture you hitting anyone.
right?
Right?
No,
Right?
like I said, I'm the sweetest person on the planet. I'm like not a troublemaker. Never look for trouble. You're like, if you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place. No, and I never ran away from things. So anybody who was a bully, I never liked that. And I would not hit them, but as soon as they came up to me with the boys, and I knew what they were ready to do, I said, okay, I know what this is all about, so I might as well just give him a beat in front of his buddies, and that's cool. I said, who's next? You know, and I hope, I feel fun forward, so somebody's gonna probably say, who's this guy think he's a tough guy or something? But really, that's how I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. It was like, I hate that bullying stuff. So I would really hope this movie gets made soon because, and plus you said he turns out to be a big star. Is it a she or a he?
It's a girl.
Missy, right? It's a girl.
Yeah, named Missy.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually did consider changing it to a boy and naming him Michael.
Oh.
But right now it's a girl.
Right, yeah. Because it's Missy's voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, how many pages for the script if you don't mind me asking?
It's 118 pages.
So it would be like almost an hour and a half type of movie, now a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, it's a feature-length film. Yep,
Oh,
the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
We have over 40 speaking roles besides background. Several different locations. So it's not one of those simple, like, little films that you can do in a weekend. This is a legit full-length feature film that's going to take at least 30 shoot days, which means it's going to take a couple of months to shoot because you can't film 30 days in a row. So it is a good-sized project.
Wow. It sounds great. Gene, you got any questions about the
film? Karen. Yeah, Karen, I wanted to ask you about some of your other books too, because I don't want to just concentrate on the films. Some of your other books that you wrote about, fitness and stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about them or stuff that you gained from them or people that have read them and said, wow, what a book, get an idea what happened with that?
Okay. Well, the first, I'd say 10 books I wrote were gymnastics. Then I moved into fitness. I've got one of them right here, Legs Plus Workouts. That's actually me in the book. I created Swing Set Fitness, and I used my nephew, who's also a CSCS. That's basically sports science. Mm-hmm. I used him as the fitness model. I have 3 of those books, 6 of the gymnastics drills and conditioning books, 3 journals, fitness journals and gymnastics journals. I have a couple of children's books. Let me reach into my thingy and see if I can grab one. Yep. Sports Lessons Learned. It's basically life lessons through sports. It's a bunch of little short stories where athletes learn things like work hard work pays off, stuff like that. I have a gymnastics version of that, but I don't have any copies here in the office. I have one book that I wrote in the very beginning called The Most Frequently Asked Questions About Gymnastics, and it's really for parents of gymnasts because I kept getting emails with the same questions over and over and over again. So I put those together into a book. That was from back in like 2000. And then I have Missy's Voice. Oh, and I actually published the paper that I wrote to get my BA degree. It was actually on the history of environmental law. So I have that as well. Most people don't even know that exists, but that's actually available for purchase too online. So yeah, I've got a bunch. Oh, and I have a book on my cancer diagnosis and life just before and after it. So yeah, I think that covers all or most of my books.
Can we talk a little bit about that? I don't think we ever talked about that too much. Not
sure.
So much cancer diagnosis, but how you were able to go around it and maybe fix the problem or maybe treat it better than others.
Well, it wasn't the only way to fix. Let me back up. When I was 24. Yeah, because I had the surgery at 25. I had a mole on my leg, and my father kept, whenever he saw me in shorts, he would yell at me to go get it looked at. And I waited a really long time. By the time I went to a dermatologist, the dermatologist said, "Oh, no, no, this has to come out." So he sliced it out, sent it to the lab. And by the time I got home that day, he told me I need major cancer surgery. And he actually scheduled my appointment at NYU with this well-known oncologist. When I went there, my mother took me there. The doctor said, "You're going to be bedridden for the rest of your life." And he kept saying that over and over again with other stuff in between, such as "You'll never work again, you'll never have a family, you'll never have kids, you'll never do this." And it was the most difficult hour or however long we were sitting in those chairs in my life, because basically my life was over according to this doctor. So then 8 days later, I had the surgery. I was in the hospital for 8 days. It was an 8-hour surgery, and I was on the 8th floor. So something with those, the number 8.
Mhm.
But anyway, the doctor was partially right. I do actually still elevate my leg, and it's not from the cancer. They got all of the cancer out. It's actually from something called lymphedema. And when they do cancer surgeries, very often the lymphatic system is damaged, and then your body can't filter out the fluids, which are basically like proteins and
Mhm.
basically toxins in a way. So when your body can't filter those out, the limb closest to that set of lymph nodes swells. So I do elevate my leg whenever I'm home, or if I can't elevate it, I do still wear compression stockings. I still exercise appropriately, meaning I don't go running because that would make it worse, but I swim. I lift weights and all that other, great stuff. So that
Mhm.
keeps the swelling to a minimum. So I do deal with it, but the doctor he was not spot on right, but he was not wrong either, because it did change my life forever. And it actually made me a better gymnastics coach. I was forced to change how I actually coached gymnastics. So it did change my life, but it didn't end my life.
That's an amazing story because
Thanks.
I mean, it's a story of survival, but it's also a story of, how you learned to live with it and then make it work for yourself. Like you said, you did different things that would, make you be able to work around the problem and not make it so much that it would happen all the time. And that's important to know because a lot of people like to just give up. It just won't,
Yeah.
they won't understand the situation to listen to the doctor, which I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you should also do your own diligence and research. Um, I've known a lot of cancer survivors now that were told they were going to die within the first month or year. They've been living 25, 20, 30, 40 years longer. And you can't really put all your faith in one doctor. You really
No.
can't. Put your faith in God. You put your faith in what you believe in and everything around that. But you've got to do you. I mean, you do
Yeah.
you. Look at you did. Look at you're an amazing lady because this shows
Thank
the
you.
testament of how you just wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat this. I'm going to write these books. Nobody else I know has had that type of gumption or trying to break through this in any way. Only you. And
Thank you.
that's an amazing thing that you did, really.
Thank you.
I
Back
congratulate
then, Back then, the research said that I had a 95% chance of dying within 5 years.
And there you go. See?
Yeah.
Who is in charge of dying? Not you, him, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
doctor only guesses what. And here's the thing about cancer, guys. And this is something I've learned. And Karen's partly right about it. The lymph nodes are your drainage for all the cancer. The cancer just doesn't come up and go, "Oh, I'm here now." It's been coming for many, many, many months, many, many years, and it grabs roots. And one of the things I could say is, from my experiences, if you have a biopsy and they take that needle and they put it through that myelin sheath, what happens is they open up that myelin sheath. Now it goes everywhere. It never went before. And that's a chance sometimes you have to look at maybe cancer is saving us rather than killing us. It's keeping it in one little nice location, one little bag of tumor or wherever it is, but we know where it's located. We know how to treat it, and we know how to diminish it. And if our immune system gets stronger, as you have been over the years, you can beat it.
Yeah.
Or at least put it at rest where you can deal with it. And then that's basically what I got to do. Just live your life day by day, day by day by day, and count the numbers because you're way ahead of what that doctor said.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing. I'm telling you. I can't. Don't you agree, Sal?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, there's been so many cases in different situations. Like in this case with Karen, it was that. But you get, and sometimes you listen to the doctors and you think of right away. You feel like what they say it is, but you didn't do that. Like Bruce Lee. The doctor told him he messed up his back, and he was in a wheelchair for 6 months. The doctor told him he'll never be able to do martial arts again. He won't be able to walk, and he proved them wrong. He said, "Oh yeah, not me." He got up and he started doing do I have to tell you about Bruce Lee? I mean, you guys know Bruce Lee, right?
Yep.
Karen, you're into gymnastics, and you know who Bruce Lee is, and so do
Yeah.
you, Gene. So that's look at Bruce Lee, what he did, and they told me he would never walk again or be able to do martial arts. So Karen's the same thing.
Wow.
You proved them wrong, and it's like, but a lot of people sometimes they'll bring their whole self down because they figure that what the doctor says is what he said, and that's it. But sometimes they're not 100% right.
True.
Yeah.
There was an old saying, and I don't mean to say it this way, but it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Yeah.
That was an old motto that they used years ago.
Yep.
I heard it many, many times, but it's true because unless he wants you, you're not going anywhere. It's a lot of work for you to do down here.
Yeah.
But remember that
Right.
you're doing so much good, Karen.
And
I have a film to produce. I've got a lot to do.
That's important.
Go
ahead, Sal.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a true believer in that too, because you ever look at the people who have accomplished what you just said about you got a lot to do still, and I truly believe that people you get Jimi Hendrix, became the best guitar player in the world, died young. Bruce Lee, here I go talking about Bruce Lee again, greatest martial artist in the world, he died. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, he died young. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, he died. So I feel like almost like in this world, we're put here for a mission. And once we accomplish what we had to fully accomplish, then God says, okay, it's time to hang out with me for a while. That's how I truly believe that. I'm a true believer of that. I don't know if Karen, if you agree with that or not, or Gene, if you guys agree, but everybody who's ever accomplished everything they want to accomplish died young, because I feel like they were put here for a reason, and they accomplished that reason. So that's and like you're saying with your movie, you got to make that movie, and he's not going to stop you.
But you can also change timelines by your diet, your fitness, how much fitness you do, exercise, of course, with fitness, and everything else you do with your breathing and all. Look up Gary Brecka. He's been an insurance guy for years. He tells the insurance companies when a person's going to die within the month or the day. Oh. You know how important that is? He knows exactly more than a doctor, because the insurance companies are relying on him so they know the risk. So who's going to die and who's going to not die? Well, he's out now as a person for us, not a risk taker. He's not working for insurance companies anymore. So he's telling people what genes that we're deficient in, what the genes that are malfunctioning to help us. And everybody has these genes, but some of them don't know if they can absorb certain nutrients, because doctors never did tests. We didn't know. I never knew that I had the MHTR gene that wasn't absorbing nutrients in my body. So I became nutrient deficient because I didn't know. So ignorance is part of it too. The more you don't know, the more you should know, right? And you learn from them. Other people are watching this now. They're learning from me. They're learning from you. They're learning from Sal. This is exactly what this is supposed to be. an informational interview, but with more to it than just talking about what it's about.
Yeah. And
That's
I tell
more
you what, this is probably one of the deepest shows we've had.
Hey,
Now, what is Irene Rogers?
Karen brought it out of me. What can I tell you? Go ahead, Karen.
Wait, what is Irene saying? Let's answer Irene there. Which is just like anything, you must get checked out regularly with your doctor and early description. They can
Detection. She's right to a point. She's right to a point. But there's also things that you can do outside of the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Like I said, with this test, I want to know when I'm going to die. Or if he knows when I'm going to die, I want him to tell me, what's the problem. For this test, it's worth everything in the world.
Yeah.
My blood pressure went back to normal. My blood sugar went back to normal. Everything. And I didn't do anything. All I did was supplement what he said I needed to supplement for. Like
that's good.
Folic acid. I never thought that the MHDR FFR gene was going to be low in folic acid. So the folic acid that I took never helped me. The only methylated folic acid helps you with the MHDR gene. How would you know that? They're not going to tell you in the doctor's office. They don't even have a clue.
No, they don't.
It's little things like that change your whole perspective of everything you do. One little thing can change many things. Yeah. I'm a believer of that. I'm really a believer.
You see, Karen, because of all your motivational things, this show got really, really deep.
Well, this is about Karen.
I'm enjoying this because usually the show is only one I like deep stuff like this.
But this is about Karen, not about me. I'm just relating to her about what I'm saying about with the cancer. And I've had my dad had cancer, my mom, a lot of my friends had cancer, and they listened to the doctor. And I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to the doctor. I'm just saying be yourself. Do your own look.
Yeah.
It's your body, not the doctor's. It's your body, your family. You're the ones that they're depending on you. They want you to be there for them, for all the good times and the bad times too.
That's just like you. I'm sure Karen and you're familiar with the movie came out many years ago. The Secret. Remember The Secret? I'm sure you guys might know that. You remember that Secret?
No.
Karen, you don't know The Secret? Really?
You don't know about The Secret?
I didn't think there was anybody. Huh? All right, so we won't even get into that, but it's all about what Gene was just talking about, how there's so many people who heal themselves just by thought, by your mindset. You can heal yourself better than sometimes people take a medication,
Sal, look at how positive Karen is. Yeah. No, I mean, she's got a great smile, and I told you that, and you know that.
Thank you.
And you've got a great, positive, uplifting personality. And as long as you stay positive all the time, nothing negative can bring you down. Really, there's nothing negative, no bad vibration. I mean, it gets you a little bit, but then you go right back to being positive, smile, be happy. You got a project you're working on. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's the power of manifestation. That's the secret, what he's talking about. Just believe in yourself and throw it out there and it comes back to you.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%, And that's why Karen never gives up. Karen, have you ever gotten any people who read your books who said, who contacted you and thanked you for whatever the books helped them out in any kind of way? Like,
I've got a lot of testimonials. People have emailed me over the years. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Like, what kind of stuff did they say?
I don't remember. But I do remember people contacting me. But I don't remember exact details. I don't have a memory like that.
Right.
I've actually saved a lot of the emails though, because once I put the testimonial on my website, if anybody ever says, yeah, right, or something like that, I can actually go back to the email or however they contacted me and say, yeah, they contacted me on this day and date, and this is exactly what they said. So yeah, I've had good feedback like that.
Now, could you still do the gymnastic stuff, all those flipping around?
Oh no, I haven't done anything like that since 1998 when I closed my gym.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, I didn't know you. Oh, you had your own gym?
Yeah, for 10 years in Brooklyn, a gymnastics facility.
I didn't know that. Wow, look at you. You do it all. Your own
I
gym.
tell you, she's an
Well,
amazing lady. She really is. She's done so much. There's so
And
My
much.
resume is 13 pages long.
wow. I just recently watched you on the Johnny P show, our friend Johnny P.
Oh,
I
Johnny
didn't
P.
know you were on Johnny P show.
Yeah.
I look up
Twice.
Karen on YouTube, and also I said, she's on Johnny P. I said, Johnny P has had everybody in the world on his show.
Yeah.
He was on our show recently, too. Johnny P's the
Good.
best. We got to give a shout out to Paul, who
Give a
made the
shout to
poster.
Paul.
You know, Paul's the guy who made the poster with your pictures on
Oh,
and all that. So every week he makes a great poster. So always give him a shout out. He's probably watching right now. He always watches. I'm surprised the what is that? The balloons he always puts around my face,
Confetti balloons, yeah.
and the graffiti. What is that? The little what do you call that stuff? All the paper, like when
Confetti.
the confetti. Now, Karen, you acted in a couple of films, right? I think.
I've been on over 100 film projects.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. What is Irene saying? Great work, Paul. Yeah, baby. She's
I
like,
put my glasses on to see.
Did you see it?
yeah, there she goes. Great work, Paul. I know Irene for a long time. So you worked in 20 films?
100
No,
films.
I've been on a lot more than 20.
I'm thinking about the books, 20 books. 100 movies?
At least, if you look at my IMDb, there's almost 50 like movies and TV shows, and then there's another bunch of industrials and commercials and theater work and other stuff that I've done.
Oh
Wow,
my
I didn't know
goodness.
that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You're like more happening than I thought.
Well, I don't have kids, so I've always been able to focus on my career.
Yes, of course. When when you have kids, a lot of people who had kids, they had to stop what they were doing, or they can't do what they're doing anymore. But you're single, and are you single or married or anything? Are you single?
No, I'm not married anymore.
Not married no more. Single.
I'm happily divorced.
She's happy. She's happy. Can't you hear how happy she is?
What is that? My IMDb? What is that?
Yeah, we're going through some of your IMDb stuff. Yeah, the credits.
Let's check it out. What do we got?
Yeah.
My eyes are so bad I could see some of it.
It's hard to see. It's so small.
Yeah. I know. Well, The Good Wife was one.
The Good Wife. Yeah, I did a couple of seasons on. I was on Billions for 3 seasons. I was a lawyer.
You were on Gotham. What did you do on Gotham? You were a bank teller. Yeah,
I was a bank teller in their Red Hook episode. It was when the bank got held up and they were shooting up the bank and stuff like that. I only worked on Gotham like 3 times.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
That was the first big thing I did. That was when I first started. I was only background.
Impressive. Very impressive. There's Billions. Okay. Gilbert Diaries. Yeah, our friend Frank is in there.
Oh, there's a funny story behind that. I hope Frank doesn't kill me. But he called me like last minute and said the actors that were supposed to do that scene couldn't make it that night. And then he said, by the way, do you know a male actor? So last minute, me and my friend Victor went and we shot that scene with Frank. It was like a last minute thing. We weren't originally cast for that scene.
You know what's funny in movies and music? I don't know why this always happens, but it seems like the accidents are the ones that happen, and then people it wins awards. It's like, wait a minute, this is just an accident. It wasn't meant to happen. Like the musicians, I know, like a music person, they said that they didn't have an amp, and the other guy had an amp, and then they didn't have the microphone, so the other guy had the microphone. They put the band together, and it became this huge freaking band. Yep. Everybody knows. It's just amazing that when accidents happen, it works out for everybody. So I think that's the coincidence type of thing.
That actually happened a lot with me. There were a lot of film projects where I was not the person who was originally cast, and I was called in last minute, and then it turned out being really good. That happened at least 5 times.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing.
They should just call me first instead of last.
Yeah.
But sometimes,
I'm the one that
like
shows up.
sometimes, like you just said, calling you afterwards turned out to be even better than if it was the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe if they called you for the first one, they would have had somebody else do what you did.
No, I don't bail out. When I make a commitment, I don't bail out.
I was only kidding.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Anything
So
you
did-
want people to know about you as far as not only what you've done, but things that we don't know about you?
Not so much. A lot of people are surprised that I competed in ballroom years ago. A lot of people are surprised that I still work out the way I do with all the damage to my spine. And a lot of people are surprised that I did 2 years in the NYPD years ago.
Really?
I have a lot of, I just got my substitute teaching license and I'm working on the regular teaching license to teach health. It's under review right now.
She
Wow.
never stops. This girl does not have a no button.
Well,
And she
once
doesn't
the
have an
film
off
is
button either.
once the film is done, if I don't roll into another film, which I do have other film ideas and other scripts, I might need something steady like teaching because I won't always be able to train athletes. Eventually, I'm going to be 70 years old and still working, and I won't be able to do as much as I do now. So I do have to prepare for the future.
Wow, that's amazing. You're just an amazing lady. I like I said, I don't know what else to say.
Thank
Sal?
you.
Yeah, she is. I mean, that's why I wanted to do the show with her because I know she's done so many things. And I listened to the show you did with Rick Anthony. That was really
Oh, good.
cool.
That was recent.
Yeah, I listened to it. It was really good. Yeah, and he's very good. That guy Rick Anthony. I'm gonna have to have
Yeah.
him interview me. So, yeah, I saw you on the Johnny P, and more I was learning because I knew we would have you on the show, and I wanted to learn a few more things that I didn't know about you. So I was hearing these different things. But wow, like I didn't know a lot of things until I watched it. I watched Johnny P, and I listened to Rick Anthony, and so I learned a lot more about you. So I was looking forward to the show because I said, wow, we have a real happening chick over here, baby.
Yeah, what's funny, Karen, is Sal used to have a show years ago. Used to have a show years ago before this show.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Irene said you are an amazing person.
What do I keep saying, Irene? Yep, she is.
Thank you.
Let's see, Irene, do you have a question for
You have any
Karen?
questions? Yeah.
Let's see what Irene has to ask for something that we can't think of at this moment. Let's see, she's probably typing.
Give her a chance.
She might not have a question.
That's true.
You answered.
She's probably, what do I ask? What do I ask?
Put her on the spot, Sal. You don't
I was just about to say that. Put her on the spot.
I put her on the show.
She said, thank you.
There she goes.
Here comes something.
Her question says, thank you.
Oh, that's not a question, Irene.
Irene, that's an answer. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, definitely, what kind of style of music do you think you're going to have on the bullying, on Missy's Voice? What kind of style? Pop, rock, disco?
Probably not. Well, that's a good question. When she's younger, she's going to sing probably more pop type stuff.
Perfect.
But her famous rock star aunt, there's probably going to be some music on there that's more rock. If I have the aunt sing. Right now, the aunt is not singing, but we might have something along those lines. So it'll probably be more pop stuff that, a 12, 13-year-old would sing. And that typical kid is not singing hard rock, and they're certainly not singing disco. So it's usually pop.
Perfect.
But I don't have that exact, decided. I have to see who's going to play Missy, what type of voice they have, and work with the music.
No, you just lost you, Karen.
Yeah, she froze up.
No, it keeps popping in and out. I think it's the storm.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. But
Definitely.
so I don't know. I don't have the music written or anything like that yet. That actually happens later on. A lot of the music will be written after the film is complete, like the theme song. But the songs that she sings when she's performing, I haven't decided on that yet.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, any help, I love to contribute. I'm not asking for nothing. I have lots of songs and movies already.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you know. I'll send you. There are a lot of them on YouTube. A lot of movie. She got a question. Here it goes.
Can you read that?
It's so small.
If you can, I'll read it. I got to read it for the listeners.
Go ahead.
My question is, have you shared your experience with cancer with other people who went through what you went through, like an advocate?
I wrote a book on it, so a lot of people have read the book, and they said it was inspirational, but I don't really do any, I don't know, I don't do any like motivational speaking. I did a little bit when I first published the book, but I'm not really focused on that, sadly, as much as I am this current project. People sometimes contact me through Facebook or through, email and ask me questions, and I'm glad to answer them and stuff like that. But I don't really, it's not like a regular thing that I do. It's just a side, once in a while type thing.
You guys understand? Okay, that's good. Good answer.
Yeah.
Well, we've got about 9 minutes left. So,
Oh,
how do people get in touch with you, Karen, for the movie? Or I know Facebook is one of the ways. Can you give some of your social network and some of your contact info out?
Oh, definitely. Right now, you can reach me at 908-278-3756. The website for the film project, and even to see the books or order the books, is missysvoice.com. That's MISSYSVOICE.com. My website is KarenGoeller.com. KarenGoeller.com. And my email address is Karen@KarenGoeller.com.
wow.
Yeah. Now, can they get their books autographed too?
Yeah, baby. I have to throw "yeah, baby" in there because I always say "yeah, baby."
Can they get their books autographed too from your website?
I do have a few of these, the hard copy of Missy's Voice available. They would have to like Venmo or Zelle me. But if they order it through Amazon or through Barnes and Noble or any of the other booksellers, it's not going to be autographed because it goes directly from them.
Yeah, we keep losing Karen. It keeps freezing up.
It's the weather. I see her, but she froze up.
But yeah, somebody ordered my book from Amazon, but they didn't actually order it from Amazon. It was a private seller on Amazon, private sellers, and it actually was an autographed copy of my book. It was, I gave someone a book. I give them away all the time. And when I give them away, I put my business card in there and I do autograph it. And this was a small, like private, almost private bookstore that actually sold it to this guy. And he showed me and I was like, oh my God, you didn't get that from Amazon, but the guy was selling through Amazon. So that did happen once, but it normally doesn't.
He sold your book that you gave him privately.
Yeah. Somebody must have given it to him because I didn't know who this person was. So somebody that I gave a book to actually gave it to this guy to sell.
I would never do
because
that.
It was autographed and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it was autographed and my business card was in it. That's how I know I'm the one that gave it to them.
Right.
To somebody.
That's sad too.
It's crazy. Yeah. And he was going to give it back to me and I was like, nah, it's all right. Keep it. So.
It's still sad though.
Yeah.
On eBay or something like that?
No, through Amazon. Amazon actually allows individual sellers to sell products. And a lot of people that are scrolling through Amazon don't realize that some of the stuff they're buying is not actually coming from Amazon.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Irene says poor taste on that person's behalf. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
One day I'll find out who gave away the book that I gave them.
All
But
right. So, yeah. So, and also, if you want to, when you're ready to do the movie, is it going to be a SAG film or a non-SAG or yeah, the
yeah,
union,
there's a good
non-union?
chance it'll be SAG. I want it to be a SAG film.
Sure.
This is going to sound odd, but there's a higher percentage of professional actors in SAG than there are that are non-union.
Of
And the
course.
reason it's going to sound odd is because that's the way most people think. But a lot of people think that I'm SAG because I'm professional when I'm on set. But I'm not SAG yet. But we are doing a SAG film because a higher percentage are professional.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes
There's
sense.
a lot of great
And
actors who are
experience.
not in SAG too. I know a lot of great actors who have never wanted to join the union because they say they get less work once they're in SAG.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
It is true in a lot of ways, but I mean, you make so much more money when you're in
Yeah.
the union. SAG. I mean, because I also was non-union and then union, and then right now I don't even know what I am. They still send me email, but I haven't paid my dues in 100 years, so obviously I'm probably not SAG anymore. I'm sagging. That's what's happening. If you look, I'm sagging. See, everything's sagging over there.
Sal was in Oz.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Karen, I've done a lot of stuff. I think you know that.
Well, I didn't know that. I don't know if you know. I didn't know. I didn't know if I knew. I don't know if
Oh,
you
you
knew.
know? Oh, wow.
What's that one say?
Sal and Doc G. Karen, I thank you all for another great podcast. I appreciate all your talents. All right, Irene, babe, we're going to have to put you on the show one of these days.
Yeah, sure. We got Cheryl Cooley from Climax coming on next week. That's going to be exciting. She's a good friend of mine, and some other great people coming on soon. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and we enjoyed. Thank you, Karen, for being here.
Thank
Sal,
you.
any last
Thank you,
words?
Karen.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. You two are great.
No, that was
Thank you so
excellent.
much.
Great. And now it'll be on YouTube forever. So as soon as we're off the air, it'll be right on YouTube. If you want, I'll send it to you.
Good.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Take care,
So,
Karen. Sal, I'll talk to you
peace,
soon.
everybody.
God bless everybody. Everybody listening, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
There goes the
Yeah,
confetti.
there's the confetti.
Told you.
Do me too. Tell me
I don't
do
know
me
why
too.
I'm the only one who gets the confetti.
It's all
Nobody
right.
else.
It's okay.
Maybe
That's
because
cute.
I'm the mayor.
Because you're the mayor. You're the man. You're the man.